What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Brandon Burge, aka B Burge Fit, the owner and founder of More Life Fitness, and you're tuning in to the Journee Podcast. This is the very first original podcast, and today we have a very, very special guest. Her name is Jazzy. All right, let's give it up for her. Give it up for her.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I see you got the all black and white
Oh
on.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm always decked out, but the only thing that's blue is my nails.
Hey,
so.
that's dope. That's what's up. That's what's up. So look, man, in the Journee Podcast, we're here to motivate and inspire people with our own journeys, okay? It's a lot of highlights on social media nowadays, so we want to really walk y'all through our own journeys and just to give you a little bit of motivation and inspiration, all right? So first, I'm going to introduce myself, tell you where I come from, where I'm at now, where I want to go, and we'll do the same with her, and we'll hop into it, okay? All right, so a little bit about me. I'm 21 years young. I'm born and raised here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm very versatile because, I was born and raised in, middle class on the west side of Charlotte, but I also had family members and friends that really grew up in the hood, and I was always with them. So I was, exposed to a lot, the good and bad here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that really made me who I am today. I actually have my own brand called More Life Fitness. I've been a personal trainer for 3 years now, and it's my purpose in life to help people become the best version of themselves so they can live their best lives. So that's where I'm at now, that's where I come from, and I plan on in 5 years or 10 years from now, I plan on having franchise of More Life Fitness all around the globe, all around the world. All right, More Life Fitness is going to be all around the world. All right, remember that. That's a little bit about me. So let's let Jazzy introduce herself and let the people know where she comes from, where she is now, and where she plans to be.
So I'm Jazzy. Jazzy J is what I like to go by. I'm actually from Joliet, Illinois, which is a small town outside of Chicago. When I say Chicago, people know what that is. With Joliet, they're like, yeah. I don't know what that is.
I had no idea where that was.
But it's a small town. It was a Catholic town, so growing up, I went to a Catholic school. I was more in a middle-class family. That's where I grew up. There wasn't much exposed to me as far as from the lower poverty areas, but I did live around that area. So I did have a lot of friends that grew up that way. I've always been the type to always want to help my friends and give them a place to stay and things like that. So that's kind of where I come from. Growing up, as a mixed girl, my mom's German and my dad's black. Sometimes coming from a majority white neighborhood gave me some adversities some challenges that I faced to where sometimes I didn't feel like I fit in. And then when I moved to South Carolina, I was exposed to a lot more diversity, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, anything. And it was hard for me to fit in there as well. So I've always had trouble with confidence. So now what I want to do is kind of find myself and help others along the way find themselves through what I do, which is influencing others. So.
Got you, dope. That's what's up. So we got a variety of different age groups that's going to be watching this. So I want to share with the people, what type of business do you have now? Or, what type of business are you helping out with as well? You know what I mean? And then I'll just start off with myself. I do personal training and I also do real estate as well. But it took me a certain time and grind, day in and day out, to get to the place and where I am now in life, pretty much. I'm good now. I've been working for myself for about 2.5 years now, which is a blessing, but it wasn't always like that. It took me a good 1.5 years to get to where I am now. So that's one of the main things I want to talk about in the Journee Podcast, is that you see all of these different things on social media where people have the nice cars, the clothes, the houses and stuff like that, which it just seems like all glitter and glam, but you don't know what they had to do to get to where they at now. You know what I mean? So I'm talking I got fired from my job when I was 19, right? And ever since that day, I took that and ran with it, and I said I'm never turning back. I'm never going to clock in to nobody else's job, and I'm gonna work for myself forever, you know, because I feel like it's super important for us to have freedom, you know, have freedom, and also just to live our best lives. And in order to live your best life, you want to have freedom. You want to build generational wealth, because think about this. The CEO that you're working for, he will never pay you enough for you to be his neighbor. All right, remember that. So always find your passion, find your purpose. And once I found my passion and purpose, I took it, and I'm still to this day, I'm working towards being the best at what I do. Now, going to Jazzy. Now, what type of business do you have, and also what business are you helping out with, and where did y'all start? You know, how was it at the beginning, you know, the good and bad, and then where is it at now? You know, let the people know.
So, personally, I have a nail business. I didn't do my nails, but I do nails. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. It's more of like an in-home kind of self-taught kind of business. It's nothing like that's too certified or anything yet, because right now my primary focus is Looney Coons, and Looney Coons is a culture of aspirations and entertainment company in Charlotte where people can find their own self-passion and self-interest by also helping others do the same. So you could think of us kind of like a networking company, but we're also a one-stop shop for many people that want to get into the creatives and want to get into the arts, want to have film, photography, dance, just everything. It's a big culture, and where, like you said, people can just be free and be themselves, and that's kind of helped me find myself along the way. It's still a process, but that's something that's coming and benefiting from that. Kadre is the owner. He is
My guy, yeah.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
He is someone that I met about 2.5 years ago, back in Colombia where our families live, at a photo shoot, of course. And then ever since then, we connected. We were super compatible, close friends, best friends, and he just had this vision, and I said, you know what, I can be an asset to help you make this come to life. So right now I'm managing the company. I've been doing it for 2 years, and I'm also a film director. So I direct a lot of the shoots that we have on set for clients, and then of course even shoots for our company as well.
Gotcha. So. That's dope. Man, speaking of, like, you know, when you said you first met Kadre, and the relationship was compatible, you know what I mean, and mutual, and things of that nature. So let's talk about, how do you know when someone's the right one to be by your side through your journey, the good and the bad, not just someone that meets you when you're doing good, but someone that's going through the mud and everything with you. You know, how do you know that that's that person that you want to go through the journey with? How did you know?
I think it just came naturally. It was an organic kind of relationship. We started dating halfway through because we were literally in the lows together. We used to sleep in our car.
Yeah.
We were technically homeless. We had our families back in Colombia, but we came to Charlotte for a purpose. Yeah. And we knew that it took whatever it took to get there, and we knew that we had each other, and that's all we had. So the fact that I never left his side, he never left his side, really showed us that, okay, like, we're in this together. Yeah. And of course we're going to have challenges being in a relationship and then also being business partners, but that's just the hurdles of life and getting through those, and just remaining focused on what the ultimate goal is. And I think that's what we both have in common, and that's what kind of keeps us going, is that same goal.
Man, that's dope. I love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, for sure. The journey, for real. All right. Now, man, look, so I had this, I love going through just experiencing life, because this gives me an opportunity to talk about it to y'all, and maybe this can you know, inspire y'all, you know what I mean, or motivate y'all. So I had a young man, he was like 17 years old. He just started personal training, and you know, he's been following me since day one, my whole journey from day one, and you know, he gets inspired from me. And he asked me, he said, bro, he said, every time I tell people my price, they try to discount me. I feel like people just don't, you know, understand my worth and know my worth. I feel like downplayed, you know what I mean? And I'm like, listen, bro, I was where you were when I first started. I felt the same way. I felt the same way. But the major thing that you have to keep in mind when you're talking about discount and you're talking about your price, what does your portfolio look like? What does your experience look like? Do people see results? Is your quality of work good? Is your management good? Is all of these different things come into place? How is your customer service? You know what I mean? Look, at the end of the day, people are questioning your price because of you. What type of value are you bringing to the people? Are your clients really seeing good results? Do you have a lot of testimonials where people are talking good about you? So it's not them, it's you. You're the reason why people are asking for discounts. Because when people come to me for my service, my price is my price, hands down. I can do that though, because now I'm at the place in my experience, in my career of personal training, where people see results in 30 days, guaranteed. Keep that in mind. I help women lose weight and build the booty that they want in just 30 days. All right, guaranteed for sure. But I work towards that. All right. So now, and you know, with LC and your nail business, how do you work through that? Like, people, I know people always ask like, yo, what's the discount or this and that? Like, how do you work towards that? Like,
so I'll start with Looney Tunes. So being a film director and also being the manager, sometimes we'll have consultations or informational meetings where people are like, okay, what are the prices and da-da-da. We represent them, and then sometimes we'll have people that are just like, kind of like in your situation, like, oh man, that's kind of a lot. You talking about $565 for a music video?
Yeah.
I can go get that for $250. Well, that's fine. They can go get that.
Right.
But the one thing is, like you said, knowing your quality and knowing your worth, because one thing with us is with film, with the videography services we offer, you're always going to get your 4K quality, but we also include benefits with that.
Yeah.
So, and we have to kind of show that through our portfolio, like you said, and we really have to kind of like follow our word by presenting, like, okay, we have consultations where you can edit with the editor, you know, just different things. You'll have a director on set, that's what comes with it. Just showcasing those perks, but also like making sure your quality stands out, but following behind that, like following your, where you can't say something but then like, and then they expect it and not deliver it. So and of course, like you said, the quality and the experience comes over time, but you can literally have, like, for example, me, with nails, I taught myself how to do nails within like a couple of months. But I still know, it works vice versa, because I still know my limitations. So I'm not gonna overprice someone that for acrylic nails if I don't know how to do acrylic nails to the best ability. So it works both ways, but like you said, just knowing your worth and knowing your value, but also having that confidence with it. Because when you have that confidence, they're automatically gonna be like, okay, I feel it. Your energy, I feel your energy, I feel your confidence. I want this. Yeah. I want to be involved. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And people definitely want to be involved if they see, you know, your referrals, your testimonials, your results. You know, people want to see, like, oh, do girls have nice nails that came to you? You know what I mean? Do people get transformations when they come to me? Also, like, when I first started, man, at 18, you know, I was only charging like, you know, $100 for a whole month or something like that, man. And then I didn't have any transformations, but I was giving people my time. You know, you want to get paid for your time. I didn't have any transformations yet. I was like, you know, 6 months in. I didn't have no transformations. I had the nerve to start upcharging $200, $250, and people weren't paying, and I was trying to figure out why. Why? Because I didn't have no transformations. I didn't have anything to show proof, tangible. Like, yo, this is what I can provide for you. So they didn't believe in that $250.
They have to see it.
I was like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm not paying $250.
Right.
I don't even know if I'm gonna get results.
Right.
But now, you can check me out, B-Burge Fit. You'll see hundreds of transformations. You can check me out on More Life Fitness. You'll see a lot of testimonials, like, you know, that confidence.
And speaking of time, that was funny because I actually had a situation where I was talking to my coach, and he was telling me how it shows your quality and your worth by experience as well, because you can give someone 10 minutes to change something in their, like they have an electricity issue at their home. Give them 10 minutes of your time, and then they're in and out, and then they give you the price. They quote you, it was $600. and you're like, just because you were only here for 10 minutes.
Right.
But it's not about that. They got the job done, and they gave you their quality service, and they performed.
Exactly.
And it's all about your confidence and your experience as well, kind of tied in together. So I think that's good, like, that you kind of have that outlook and tell people.
For sure. I feel like a lot of people need to hear that.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
For sure, 100%, man. So the next thing I really wanted to talk about, which is big in our society today, in our generation, our age, and time, social media. You know, how it can be addicting, how it can be good and bad, you know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you my opinion and then I'll let you go. My opinion, it really all depends on, are you a consumer or a product, right? Are you selling some type of service? You know, are you bringing people value on social media, right? Or are you just consuming a lot of different things because you, little do you know, you do become what you consume on a daily. To be honest with you, that's why a lot of people are out here toting guns, selling, robbing, because that's what the hip hop culture is saying is right in their songs. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, them rappers or them artists don't really give a fuck about you. They really don't, right? But you have to go back to just being you, your own identity. If you're not from the streets, why are you over here in the streets acting like you are? Because that's not you. Be you. Be you and just stand for something. Because if you don't stand for anything, you're gonna fall for anything. For sure. So, are you just consuming different things, or are you bringing value? Are you providing a service? But if you're consuming, what are you consuming? Are you consuming good quality information, or are you just consuming ass and titties, big booties, and robbing, stealing, all these different bad things that's out there? You know what I mean? So be very, very careful with the way you utilize social media, because it can be a lifesaver where you can make a lot of money, or it can be something that makes you depressed because you think everybody else has all these different things and it may not even be theirs, it may be fake, highlight reel, right? So it can be good or bad. That's how I feel about it, you know what I mean? I don't know how you feel about it.
I agree, to a certain extent. Like I said, I do feel, because being in management also as a student at Clemson, I learned IT and learned more about operating technology services from a business perspective. And I do think it's critical, social media nowadays. I mean, you have to have it. You have to have it not only just for if you're selling something or you have a service or a business, but also to consume, because like you said, there are good things out there to consume.
Sure.
And that can influence you in good ways. That's what I use my social media for, to influence others, but also it helps you kind of find yourself, what things you want to identify with, what things you want to associate with, what things you want to follow up with, whether it's news related or politic related or entertainment related. So I think that's the benefit of social media, but I do think a lot of people have the trouble finding their identities, and what they do is they indulge in something or get addicted, like you said, into something that is accepted by society.
How do you feel like people can find their identity?
I would say finding it depends on the person.
Okay.
So finding a way that helps you kind of therapeutically deal with the stresses in life, because I feel like what a lot of people, when they're trying to face themselves, it's when they're depressed or when they're stressed and they don't know how to find themselves.
Facts.
And I feel like they have to find those therapeutic methods, and sometimes people do have to get off social media to do that. But I feel like sometimes
it's hard because it's addicting.
Right. But
This shit is addicting.
So I feel like taking the time to do things off of social media is definitely good, like writing and speaking to people. I'm not a therapist, but what I can say is that it's definitely a problem. A lot of people do find themselves lost in what other people are influencing, and that's why it's our jobs, people like us who are influencing, to influence people the right way, or what you feel is best for others. Now, I do feel like in relation to what you were saying, how people are seeing things like, oh, I see people with guns and drugs and stuff like that. From a woman's perspective, that's kind of like with these Cardi B's and Megan Thee Stallions and stuff.
Facts.
I feel like a lot of times it's not even, they don't even do these things.
Right.
You know, Cardi B was with Offset for a long time.
Yeah.
And she wasn't out there, you know, thoughting around and doing all these things. And then in her song, she's saying something different. So I think a lot of people are perceived by what's socially acceptable.
Exactly.
What people find entertaining, and they say, okay, this is what's right. So yes, it is. I think it can be, social media can be a good and bad thing. It's just how you use it. And like you said, coming back and finding who you are along the way.
100%, 100%, man. And like she said, the most important thing overall is to know yourself. Know yourself, so, you know, once you see all of these different highlights, Cardi B's, you know, Offset, Quake, Migos, Drake, whoever you're looking at, like, okay, that's cool. They work for that. That's where they are now. That's the image that they have to uphold on. But who are you?
How are you going to get there?
How if you are inspired by that and that's where you want to go, how are you going to get there? Because they work for it. You see what I'm saying? It's not just all glitter and gleam.
Yeah. That's sure. Also another thing, testimonial wise. I actually used to be one of those girls that, you know, took an ass picture, bam, snapped it, got thousands of likes, and I'm like, okay, I like this.
Ooh.
But then it was like,
yo,
you know,
that's a whole nother podcast.
I was worried about what other people were thinking, and I
Yeah.
wanted them to like me for different reasons, but really I wasn't even liking myself.
Yeah.
So a lot of times,
ladies, listen, listen.
Yeah, I was
real.
one of those.
Man, you don't have to post your ass every single time you post. Now, I get that it's a lot of women out. I know me personally. I know a lot of women that's making thousands of dollars on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
On OnlyFans and social media and all of that because of their body and their image. I get that. You do your thing, girl.
And if that's what makes you happy, yes. But if it's not what makes you happy,
that's
another story.
At the end of the day, if you're doing all that and then you done, you get home and you by yourself and you're depressed.
Yes.
Or you just feel bad about yourself because you're just giving your whole body up,
then
bruh,
change that. Yeah.
You have to change. You have to change because at the end of the day, you're going to start to stay. You're going to stay depressed. You know what I mean? And life's just going to be bad for you. So be happy. You know, be at peace. Love yourself for who you are, for sure. Last thing for the day, and then we're going to wrap it up, is I'll let you start off. Because I want I want you to start this one off. What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want people to remember? What do you want people to remember you as? Like after you leave here, it's all done. What do you want people to know you as?
Yeah, so I'm actually glad you asked me that first because I don't get asked that question a lot. And like I said in the beginning of this Journee podcast was that, you know, it took a long time to get where I am now as finding myself and knowing myself. So I'm still kind of in that process of finding out, like, what is my purpose? Who am I? What do I ultimately want? You know, what I can say is I want to be in the reality TV industry. I want to own my own network one day, kind of like Oprah Winfrey. That's the ultimate goal. But what I want to be remembered as is someone who kind of inspires others. People can look up to, and also a caregiver. I'm a really big caregiver. So when I get to that point in my life where I'm making, bank, I want to be able to, people to be like, okay, like I remember that one kind thing that Jazzy J did for me. I remember her for doing this, not just for what I am, but what I did for them. So that's kind of what I see myself, my legacy as being right now. Like if I died, like she was just a great person.
For sure, That's dope, man. For me, bro, I live off a motto: make a lot of money, have a lot of fun, help a lot of people. I live off that motto every single day. You know what I mean? That's one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this podcast, The Journey, to help people, inspire people, motivate people with our own journeys and our own perspectives on different topics of, today and what we go through on an everyday basis. You know what I mean? So it's super, super important for me. I really want people to remember me as that guy that went through all of this, the good and the bad, and shared with you the good and the bad, how I got there step by step. And y'all can just follow us Follow us, follow our journeys.
Yeah.
Follow our journeys, follow the podcast, because I'm going to have all different type of journeys and inspiration and motivation on this podcast, The Journey. All right, now, that's a wrap for today. Look, Jazzy, thank you so much. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on social media. My Instagram is @MissJazzyBaby. You'll see it at the end of this podcast because it's super long. But go ahead and follow me and check me out there.
Definitely check that out for sure, man. It's your boy Brandon Birch, aka B Birch.
Thank you.
Owner and founder of More Life Fitness. You tuned into the Journey Podcast, the very first original episode. Y'all stay tuned for more. Let's go.